nothing that you want is upstream. And the reason that we know that so clearly is because we know the power of this stream. We know how it got there. We know what this call of source is. We know that it was you in your physical form that asked for more, just like you knew you would, and that source became a vibrational match to that. That's why law of attraction is responding to the powerful essence of that which is you. And that's why your guidance system works in the way that it does. Oh, of course, law of attraction will respond to anything you got going on. You can focus at some injustice and beat the drum of it, and before you know it, you're attracting those kinds of experiences into your experience. Law of attraction is like the law of gravity. It's everywhere, and what you think about is what you get. But we want you to understand the bigger story to law of attraction. We want you to understand that the reason that you have emotions at all is because law of attraction is responding to who you really are, and when you buck that current beats up on you really, really good. Jerry and Esther travel back and forth between Phoenix and San Diego, and they never get out there in the middle of the desert on their way to San Diego and feel so unhappy that they're not yet in San Diego that they get disoriented and turn around and go back to Phoenix. Can you imagine? Phoenix, Yuma, Phoenix, Yuma, Phoenix, Yuma, Phoenix, Yuma, Phoenix, Yuma. And then they would announce, San Diego is an impossible dream. San Diego is incurable. They would never be so foolish. It's not impossible. Just point at it and keep going. That's all. And that's true of everything that you want. Just point at it and keep going. That's all. Don't use the excuses about not going. Just point at it and keep going. Point at it. Let the call of source call you toward it. And we want you to understand that 99.99% of every creation is completed vibrationally before you see any physical evidence of it. So you have to keep moving in the direction of what feels good, with the understanding that if it feels good, you are moving in the direction of what you are wanting, rather than stopping to take score. Because if you stop to take score when there is only the vibrational evidence of emotion to let you know you're moving in the right direction, and you say, wait a minute, I've been doing all this work for all this time, and now I'm looking and I see no evidence of what I'm reaching for. Now in that attention you are vibrating differently than that which source has already achieved vibrational alignment with, and you turn around and go back upstream. We think you're getting the sense of this. We think you have at least heard who you are. We think that you are understanding that you are source energy and that you've come forth to create. And we want to convince you, although we cannot convince you of anything. We just know it so firmly that maybe our knowing it and your hearing it will help you to begin to vibrate in alignment with it. We want you to know that if this time-space reality has the ability to inspire within you a desire, this time-space reality has within it the ability to deliver it in its full manifested form. And we know that there are many things that you think you want. There are many things that you do want, and every one of them is appropriate. We are not here to guide you toward or away from any desires. We just want you to know that we have never seen any of you want anything, whether it is a material object, a state of being, a relationship, a pile of money. We haven't seen you ever want anything for any other reason than that you think in the having of it you would feel better. We're going to say something a little odd here, because there are all kinds of emotions on the scale, all the way from despair to revenge to love and joy. We want you to reach for the emotion of relief, because the emotion of relief is a relative term. We want you to understand that something that feels downstream to you could very well seem upstream to somebody else. See how that might work? So when they say to you, you are inappropriate in what you're saying or in how you're feeling, say to them, you think this is bad. You should have felt how I felt a minute ago. This is downstream for me, and it's an improvement. But I'm sorry I talked to you about it, because clearly you were downstream from it, and now I've got you thinking about it. You've turned upstream, and now you're mad at me because you don't have control of your own thoughts. We just thought we'd help you out, because we're hearing so many of you who are beginning to understand that you are the creators of your own experience. We're seeing you wag your fingers at those who are having some negative emotion, as if there is something wrong with negative emotion. And we want you to understand that there's nothing wrong with it. It's your indication that you've turned upstream. You don't want to put Novocaine in your fingers so that you don't feel the hot stove. Ah, that's so much better. I smell burning flesh. But no problem. I can't feel it. We want you to feel your negative emotion. And more important, we want you to do something about it when you feel it. We want you to recognize that that means you're upstream. Is there anything that I could think that would give me relief? And here is the most important part of all. Do not try to measure your emotions about any subject against what anybody else feels about the same subject. When you're trying to listen to what this one is saying and this one is saying and this one is saying, you get dragged off in all kinds of different directions, and it is unnecessary because you are source energy who have lived life, who have given birth to your powerful desires, and that desire, source energy, is a vibrational, complete vibrational alignment with, and source energy is calling you toward it, and when you go in the direction of relief, you are moving in the right direction. So it's possible to have a dreaded disease, to want to be well, and to say, I'm going to beat this and turn upstream. Because there's a difference between beating it and allowing the wellness that is natural. And that's what we're going to talk about all day today. How to find vibrational alignment with who you really are and what you really want. That's what the art of allowing is. We are eager to talk with you. Right there, come forward if you will.
Thank you. Hello again, dear teachers. I'm another one of those whiny guys who has congestion and all the rest. And thank you for clarifying that it's not about something health related. It's not about what it looks like.
Everything that happens has a vibrational root, but everything that you are observing then adds more vibrational roots. So it's easy to perpetuate something once it gets going by observing it, isn't it?
Yes.
So you have to get to the place where you decide to offer your vibration because the idea of what you want is more dominant rather than the idea of what you've got. In other words, you couldn't get sick unless you were focused upon things you don't want. And then after you are sick, now you're really focusing on things you don't want, so you just hold it there longer. But all of it comes from focusing upon things you don't want. Every bit of it, every time, no exceptions.
Some of the experiences that I've been having in the last 7 months, I get confused about thinking about feelings and feelings.
Well, they are very closely related. In other words, the way it works is you focus, which activates a vibration. And when the vibration is activated, then you feel the activated vibration. And think about why. You have source energy purring in you all the time. We haven't said it in that way, but source energy is purring in you all the time. Then when you focus upon something and you get your own vibrational purr going, the way those purrs mesh or don't mesh is what equals your emotion. In other words, when you focus upon something and as you're focusing you feel wonderful, that means your thoughts are meshing with who you really are thoughts, and there's no resistance. You think and then you have a feeling response to what you're thinking. But it's possible, and here's what we think you're getting at. It's what we would be getting at if we were in your physical shoes. It is possible to think about how you want to feel and therefore focus upon the feeling, and by focusing upon the feeling you hope to achieve, activate the vibration that achieves that. It's sort of a easy way in to alignment.
So on these difficult subjects that come up, you know, they're part of the daily life, and they're always a frustration.
Such as?
You know, for all of us, I guess it's money, love, and health. And you have said not to tackle the most difficult, the most pressing one first.
Well, we say that if you can focus upon things that you don't have a big negative vibration build up around, the universe will deliver it to you quickly, which will give you confidence in your ability to focus. It will give you confidence in the law of attraction. It will give you confidence in your worthiness. So we always say start with easy things until you have proven to yourself the power of law of attraction and proven to yourself your ability to focus. But once you've got that, then we encourage you to clean up your vibration on every subject under the sun. Your vibration is right where you last left it on every subject. So let's say when you were in high school, someone mistreated you in some way and you never really got over it. You remember the hurt, you remember the wrongdoing, you remember how you felt, you remember the disadvantage that you took away from it. But then you left there, eventually you stopped talking about that person, and while you still occasionally have people treat you in that way, it doesn't come up very often and you don't think about it all that often. And then somebody says something to you that triggers that, and so now it's active again. And as you begin pondering it, you feel that hurt all over again. That means your vibration never moved from that hurt. You haven't been thinking about it, so it hasn't been a big player in your vibration, but it's been lying there dormant with the potential of being activated, and now something has happened that activated it. Now, because it was there where you last left it, and you are living in the world, and you are observing things around the world, different things that you observe have the potential of activating that because it's still where you last left it. So our encouragement is that sooner or later you take it and you talk it downstream. You do it on purpose. It might take you 2 or 3 days here and there and here and there, but you leave it in a whole different place. Now you've left it in a different place. It doesn't have the potential of ever being activated again. In other words, you've moved yourself to a new place, and now it's not going to creep out of the bushes and club you over the head over and over again because you've shifted the vibration of it. But
even though that thought still exists.
The thought exists, but you took that subject and deliberately morphed it. In other words, while that happened, you launched rockets of desires. So the source within you saw that relationship, saw that happen, saw what you didn't want, saw what you did want. And the source within you gives its undivided attention to what you want that you derived from that experience. And that source perspective on that has been potentially active with you all along. So when you deliberately talk about that subject and talk yourself into alignment about it, now that can never creep up again. All of your power is right here because your ability to focus is right here. So as you use your power of now and you focus right now on something that closes a gap and causes you to align with who you are, you become this vibrational being that is the extension of source energy, and before you know it, those vibrations become your dominant vibrations, which makes you impervious to mistreatment. It makes it not possible for anything other than what you want to flow into your experience. As long as anything other than that is happening, it means you've got those vibrations still active, so there's still some work to do. So it's fun for us to watch people get hold of this idea of finding relief, finding relief, finding relief. Because when your intent is to feel good, no matter what the subject is that moves through your mind, and so subject after subject, you just find the best feeling thought about it that you can find. Before you know it, because of all this different variety of subjects, you've cleaned up these core issues that you've been carrying around for a while. And then you are finally this loving being who feels invincible and knows the worthiness of your being, no matter how the rest of the world is viewing you.